Good day, everyone. And before we proceed to our discussion, let's answer this question. What is the importance of goal setting? The learners who set their own goal can select effective strategies to reach their goal, and they will able to monitor and adjust their progress. And students learn best when they are actively and intentionally engaged in their own learning. And now let's proceed to our topic, which is fostering student goal setting. This chapter examines goal setting, a critical element of the formative assessment process, and explore ways to school leaders can encourage teachers to value and include skill development in goal setting as integral part of their classroom practice. We also explore how goal setting can encourage teacher professional development and create culture of collaborative inquiry, the inquiry of the school. And next, these are our learning objectives. The first one is explain the meaning and importance of goal setting, relate goal setting to student achievement, discuss the misconception about goal setting, discuss the phase of goal setting, and the last one is discuss the different strategies for goal setting. And next, then, now let's define what is goal setting. Goal setting is a critical element of the formative assessment process guided by the three core questions. First question is, where am I going? Second is, where am now? Third is, what is strategy or strategies will help me to get to where I need to go. Next. And achieving the goal in a realistic and strategic way is aided by goal setting, a cognitive process that effectively energizes a student to become more productive. By Locke and Latham, 2002. Students learn best when they are actively and intentionally engaged in their own learning. When students set a goal, they can create and monitor a realistic plan to achieve it. They are engaged in their own learning in real and relevant ways. And next, and goal setting and goal achievement influence learning and generate motivation. And these are the two important ways by providing. First way is providing learning target for your students. Second is by helping students to know or to pursue the target. And next, how does goal setting affect student learning and achievement? Goal setting affects student learning and achievement in lalo na dun sa mga high achieving students, and they know or know what is important to learn and how to learn they tend to. And as a student, when you set a goal, you can monitor your progress and you can also manage your time and achieve more when you are a student who have a own goal. And next, and sinasabi lang dyan, those who set goals and monitor their self-efficacy, the possible achievement potential is 30% according to Zimmerman 1998. Next. And now, in particular, goal setting helps students learn how to learn in four main ways by Locke and Latham, 1990. The first is goal-focused student attention on the learning task and the learning target. This when you are focusing on what is important and what is essential, the students will focus on what is important and what is essential. And second, goals stimulate appropriate student effort. And student will learn to judge the degree of effort, Pag, pag di maganda yung outcome, baka kulang pa yung effort na binigay nila doon. And syempre, kapag maganda yung outcome, is enough yung effort na binigay nila para ma-achieve yung goal na yun. And third is goal increase student persistence. Dito naman, students who have a goals, they more likely to choose a more effective strategy to achieve their goal. And the last is goal increase a student's desire and capacity to learn new strategies. Dito naman, student will monitor their own progress. And next are the misconception about goal setting. The first misconception is it is important that students have goals that inspire them to achieve more. And sinasabi lang dito is, which is mali yung yan, sinabi na dyan. Kasi kahit wala ka namang goal, pero kung may desire ka, and you can also achieve what you want. And next misconception is goal setting is a planned event to help students prepare for next unit, report period, or part of the school year. And sabi lang dyan, yung goal setting is akala ng teacher and student na yung goal setting, yung goal na sinet nila is hanggang sa isang buong taon lang or pagkatapos ng buong school year lang, which is mali na. Or mali kasi, goal setting is an ongoing and continuous. And next, or the last misconception is goal setting is a study skill. Goal setting is a learning process that helps students learn how to learn during the day-to-day and minute by minute. And now, let's call on Ma'am Jessica to report the next topic.
Now, let's proceed to the connection of motivation to goal setting. Goal setting generates motivation to learn by focusing students' attention on the gap between where they are and where they are heading. Knowing the distance between where you are and where you want to be and can be is a fundamental motivational principle according to Lack and Latham 2002. The three main phases of goal setting is setting the goal, selecting the strategy, and assessing performance. Keep students those three main phases of goal setting. It can make the students metacognitively, motivationally, and actively engaged in their own learning according to Zimmerman 2001. And we can simply put that goal setting keeps learners motivated to learn. And although a just right goal can foster motivation to learn, goal setting must be taught, and like any skill set, requires scaffolding and opportunities for guided practice. Keeping this in mind, let's walk through the three main phases of goal setting, noting how the essential elements of formative assessment process are critical to student success and how teachers work in partnership with their students to share information and gather crucial evidence. And now let's proceed to phase 1, the goal setting. These are the three main phases of goal setting. Phase 1, setting the goal. Phase 2, selecting the strategy. And phase 3, assessing the performance. Now let's proceed to setting the goal. Phase 1, setting the goal. During the first phase, setting the goal, students learn to describe a specific short-term learning goal that is just right in terms of challenge and attainment. Without a clear understanding of the learning and the criteria for success, however, setting a goal that's accurate can be overwhelming for students. If the students cannot distinguish the bite-sized chunks within a learning target, they will be unable to recognize logical and realistic steps they can take to ensure success. Helping students learn to set a goal that is just right requires much more than merely helping them state what they intend to do and how they will do it. A just right short-term goal must be logical. Next step students should take to close the gap between where they are and where they need to be. Determining that goal means students must make realistic estimates of their capacity to reach it. For example, let's consider a lesson focused on describing the characteristic of the planets. The first and perhaps most important step a teacher can take to encourage just right goal setting is to help students identify the specific characteristic of the planets they should master. In our example, the characteristic could be the distance of each planet from the sun, the characteristics of inner planets versus the outer planets, and how long in the Earth time it takes for each planet to revolve around the sun, and how long in Earth time it takes for each planet to rotate on its axis. Armed with this clear understanding of exactly what the teachers means by characteristics, students can begin to gauge what they already know and what they need to learn. This is act of realistically judging one's own ability and setting a goal to match it. It promotes self-efficacy. Just right goals are neither too challenging or nor too easily accomplished and are based on a clear understanding of the level of challenge, the time frame, and the learning sequence. They are a perfect fit because they describe accomplishments that are just slightly ahead of what the students can do now and aim at destinations the students can reach in the near future, according to Bandura and Servon 1986 and Lack 2002. In fact, specific and reasonably difficult goals lead to better performance than general do your best goals because they stimulate effort and help students to regulate their own action. That is why the first phase, setting the goal, must involve students in examining the specific but bite-sized chunks that make up the goal, the time frame they have to learn those chunks, and what they will be asked to do or produce at the end of the time frame to demonstrate their learning. It is critical, therefore, that teachers share as much information as possible about the specific learning target and the criteria for success and provide ample time for students to examine the target. Armed with specifics, each student has the opportunity to create a sequence of short-term, realistic goals that build on each. And as students work through the week, the teacher provides feedback to feed them forward as they continually hone and own the difference between where they are and where they need to be. Setting a goal, adjust setting a just right goal helps students work smarter and stay engaged. It is a way to help students harness the working of their mind, set their own course, and monitor their progress towards the goal. And now let's proceed to phase 2, selecting the strategy. After setting a goal, students enter the second phase of goal setting, selecting a powerful set of strategies. Armed with a specific and realistic short-term goal to guide them, students use their judgment to choose a strategy or set of strategies with power. A strategy they predict will have the most power to help them advance toward their goals. And as students are planning and using specific strategies, they are benefiting from feedback and scaffolds as they work together with their teachers and quiz. That's the selecting the strategy phase 2. Now let's go to phase 3, assessing performance. During their performance, students enter the third phase of goal setting process, self-assessing, and self-regulating as they monitor and adjust what they are doing because they are equipped with a set of strategies carefully designed to help them. Students intentionally and actively work to improve their learning. Learning to gauge their progress towards their goal puts students in control of their own learning and means that the students learn to attribute their success on the task at hand to things they can control. The set of strategies they choose and the amount and direction of their effort, they learn to gather evidence to assess the effectiveness of the strategy and to adjust their own performances. Now, next. Now let's proceed to a continuous process. Finally, students use the evidence they gathered during their performance to set their next goal accordingly. And the process begins again with a newly designed just right goal. This is continuous process of setting a goal, choosing a strategy and assessing performance, and all focus on improving learning during the task at hand is what gives formative goal setting its power for increasing students' achievement and motivation to learn. And when teachers consistently engage their students in understanding the learning targets and provide them with formative feedback along the way, students have the precise information they need to set specific, time-bound, and realistic short-term goals that are just right. Clearly, motivational benefits occur when students are actively and intentionally engaged in making informed learning decisions that help them to move forward or move toward the learning target. Goal setting empowers students because it not only guides their journey but also helps them recognize and monitor their learning progress along the way. Because students are intimately involved in keeping track or where they are compared with where they want to be. They are better able to understand everyday setbacks as a natural part of learning. Now let's proceed to specific strategies in for goal setting. Learning to set goals takes time and practice. Teacher can use 3 strategies to promote goal setting. Ito yung using feedback that feed forward, modeling goal setting, and providing goal setting guides. In strategy number 1, using feedback that feeds forward, the right kind of feedback makes directed behavior emotionally important for students. Effective feedback helps students judge their current level of performance. When teachers provide information that tells students they are performing below the learning target, it causes dissatisfaction and negative emotion. On the other hand, information that students are performing at or above the learning target promotes positive emotion. It is critical for teacher to feedback to include specific suggestion for what to do in the next task or activity. By using feedback to feed forward, the teacher can increase learning no matter where the students is in relation to the goal. If the students is performing below the goal level, specific suggestions can help the student set a just right short-term learning goal that generates the motivation not only to work harder but also to tackle the learning task in more strategic way. And when a teacher feedback helps the students to see that he or she is making progress toward the learning target and provide suggestion for the next step. It encourages the students to set new short-term goals that are more challenging and that promote effort and persistence. Now let's proceed to next strategy, modeling goal setting. When teachers model goal setting and allow students to become goal setting models for each other, they help each students to develop the skills and the will to learn more and learn smarter. Teacher can unpack the goal setting phases and walk their students through goal setting as a consistent part of how they communicate with their students. Talking about learning in goal-directed language not only models goal setting but also help to embed goal setting into the very fabric of specific learning tasks. In next slide, we can see this. Can you sir? In this slide, you can see a table that the teacher can use in discussing what modeling goal setting is. Next, next, sir. Next pa, sir. Yun yung table. Parang yun yung summarization ng modeling goal setting in step-by-step process lang niya. And next strategy is providing goal setting guides. Goal setting guides are a good way to help students internalize and visualize how to set goals and regulate their performance in a realistic and strategic way. Teacher can adjust the language to make it appropriate for their students' age and ability. Sir, pa next. These two tables, the teacher can use in discussing what goal set, can use as guides to provide goal setting. Itong isa, my goal, yung mga specific goal lang yan, nandyan. And dito sa isa, may to-do list na nakalagay. Next, sir. Now, let's proceed in recognizing effective students in goal setting. To be effective, goal setting must be a part of everything that happens in the classroom. So look for evidence that goal setting is a process and not an event. Look for charts or posters that remind students of the importance of having a goal or that list and describe goal setting steps. Look for displays of student goal sheet or charts where students record their progress. Listen for teachers using goal-directed language in their conversations with their class or with individual students. Look and listen for students discussing their goals and their progress toward them with their peers. Because goal setting is an ongoing process and not an event, you may not be able to observe it directly. However, you should be able to notice the following effect on the teacher. The first one is lesson plan reflect intentions to include goal setting within the lesson. Assignments follow a logical sequence that scaffolds learners and breaks complex tasks in a doable parts. Lessons include frequent progress checks for students to gauge their training. Next, sir. Now, our topic, let's sum it up our topic. Goal setting is a continuous process of learning how to learn. It is guided by clear learning targets and fueled by feedback that feeds forward. Teaching students to set just right goals helps them to know precisely what they want to achieve so they can choose powerful strategies and make informed decisions about how and where to concentrate their learning efforts. But being a goal setter is only one part of becoming an informed learner. In chapter 5, will be in chapter 5 that will be reported by the next group, there we can explore some ways to move students beyond simply being skillful goal setters to becoming actively involved goal getters. These students know how to self-assess and make learning decisions based on the information they gathered in order to direct and regulate their own learning. And that's all. Thank you for listening.